This is something I never expected to see. We're traveling across Slovenia, Croatia, Hungary, and Slovakia. We're on our way to Istanbul.
Voici Slow Trip.
We're traveling around the world one trip at a time.
Allons-y.
We're traveling from Amsterdam to Istanbul in 60 days using do-it-yourself travel. This is part of my retirement bucket list. Be sure to check out our prior episodes to understand who we are, how we're doing this trip, how we got started, and what's happened so far. After 14 days traveling through Italy, we're on our way to Central Europe. We're going to be traveling through Slovenia, Croatia, Hungary, and Slovakia. We'll be using a combination of trains and rental cars as we make our way towards Eastern Europe. Every day, I'm going to try and make a 1-minute video, show you something that we ate, something that we did, something that we saw. I call them little breadcrumbs. I hope you stick with me. It's time to leave Italy. We're headed east to Slovenia. Italy has been awesome. 5 stars. Bellissimo.
Bellissimo. Ciao.
We really don't know what to expect. You know, Bougie and I grew up at the end of the Cold War, so seeing Central and Eastern Europe is really going to be something new for us. Now, we've done other episodes about how to use the train system in Europe. You're going to want to check out those videos. There's lots of good information about traveling first class and how you actually find your train on the train platform. I gotta say, Slovenia has this interesting vibe, a little bit of Italy, a little bit of Austria, maybe a little bit of the Slavic countries.
So this is kind of interesting here in the downtown square in Ljubljana. This space right behind me has its own weather. You can see right behind me. And it's dry out here. It's not raining. But inside this circle, it's raining. We're trying to figure out, like, how does it happen? And it says the place in Ljubljana that has its own weather. So we're not quite sure if it's something up. There's something above us here, some type of like electrical system or something. We're wondering if it changes the weather. How does it work? Can't figure it out. But look, I'll go inside of it here. And without a doubt, it's raining. I'm getting wet. But when I go outside the circle, it's not raining. What's causing it? That's kind of weird. So the secret to the water is there's actually a sprinkler up there in the top in the center. And then you can see the sprinkler system up there. It's hidden very cleverly.
The symbol of Ljubljana is the dragon, which you can see around town, and its meaning is tied to several Slavic myths. As far back as 2000 BC, people settled in the Ljubljana area, including the Romans in 50 BC. Let's be honest, if you're traveling around the world and someone offers you something called the Bosnian meat platter, well, you have to check that out. This is something that we were not really prepared
J'avais besoin de la viande.
Almost 400 meters above the city is Ljubljana Castle. It was built around the 11th century. Today you can access it via a vernacular, which takes you to the top.
This morning we're on a road trip to Predjama Castle, and then we're on our way to Lake Bled, and it's a road trip through western Slovenia. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait.
Predjama Castle was built into the face of a giant cave in the 13th century. About an hour north of Ljubljana is Lake Bled. It's the #1 tourist attraction. The centerpiece is a castle that overlooks the lake. Bled Castle is the oldest castle in Slovenia.
Chicken wings? No chicken wings. chicken wings. We're in Ljubljana, downtown, and we're at a place called Pop's Place, which serves burgers and some other American type of food. But they serve these amazing Asian chicken wings. The best chicken wings that I've had probably in a year. Way better than anything I've had in the States from anywhere. They're delicious. That's good. That's a good chicken wing. Let me tell you. I think I'll have like 10 more. I'm gonna eat it like a chicken wing, like Doja Cat says. It's juicy, delicious.
Bougie writes reviews for all the places we eat at, everywhere we stay. She makes notes on the museums. On all the popular review sites, you'll find our reviews listed under the Slow Travel logo. Let me remind you, Slow Travel has no sponsors. We get no compensation from any of the people or places or things that we talk about on our YouTube channel. We also film all our footage while we're traveling. It's all our own. We do everything ourselves. Please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and spread the word. This channel would not be possible without your support.
Today is a road trip adventure to eastern Slovenia in search of castles. This morning we're on an adventure to eastern Slovenia, and we had to get breakfast, so we stopped at a local bakery, just pulled in with the car, and I ran inside, and there were so many choices, I couldn't decide what pastries to get. But I bought some donuts for my wife, which is some type of hot dog in a wrapped up croissant.
Let me show you the size of this. As big as half my head. It's supposedly got marmalade inside of it. It's gonna be delicious.
I've come all the way to eastern Slovenia because I heard about this place where they have a golden fountain. A fountain that beer comes out of. Yes, I know it sounds crazy.
That is amazing.
Beer fountain? No beer fountain. Beer fountain. I know it sounds crazy, but we're going to see, is there such a thing as a public fountain that dispenses beer? How can this be a public fountain that dispenses beer? Check it out. It's cold. It's like someone built a town just for me. They put a fountain that dispenses beer in the park, and then 50 feet away, they put a kebab shop. 6 different kinds of beer coming out of that fountain. This is the dark one. It's pretty good. Beer fountain. I love it. Without a doubt, Slovenia is 5 stars. I'm definitely coming back here. It's time to leave Slovenia, and we're on our way to Croatia. We're gonna drive the car to the Croatian border and cross over and head to Zagreb.
Crossing the border into Croatia is like passing through a toll booth. It's just so easy. It's become a real tourist destination with art, great food, and interesting things to see. I want to show you a piece of art called Vastness by Ida Blažiško. This type of art is referred to as ambient textile sculpture, and it's almost organic in the way that it moves with the wind. This piece is several fabric panels with wire inserts suspended on a web of steel cables, and it creates an interesting almost organic piece of art moving in the area in front of the Zagreb Art Pavilion. What's most interesting about this piece is the way people flock to it, to take pictures or have a conversation or simply stand underneath it.
Tram? No tram. Take the tram. Whenever we can, we like to take the public transportation to get around the towns. It just puts you, right inside of daily living and the local color. You get to see how everybody kind of lives their life. And it's a great way to see a city and get a flavor for it. The public transportation is clean and usually it's air conditioned. And it's actually quite convenient because it'll take you to all the major stops, especially the tourist stops, and often into the shopping districts and usually by your hotel. Kind of interesting fact on a tram here in Zagreb, it's about 75 to 80 decibels when the tram is moving. It's noisy, but when you're stationary, it's about 60, 65. It's actually very quiet just sitting in traffic because everything's electric. This morning is our longest train ride yet. 6 hours from Zagreb to the ancient city of Split, Croatia. We're on the train to Split. It's packed. A lot of people here. We're at the very front of the train, which means something goes wrong. We're eating it. What a train ride. That was an adventure. We just did 6 hours on kind of a tiny little train packed in there at the very front, and man, we're glad to be here. One track the whole way. One track, the train track the whole way. And we've arrived in Split. This morning our adventure is we're going to take the local bus out of town and go visit Klis Castle, which is a famous castle here in Split, Croatia. It's going to be a nice adventure.
Dur, Loretta.
Today we're visiting Diocletian's palace, which are ancient Roman ruins that make up about half of the old town of Split. The palace was originally created for the Roman Emperor Diocletian. It was constructed in about 300 AD. Today we're visiting the gallery for Ivan Mestrovic, who's the most famous sculptor from Croatia. His gallery is a 16th century Renaissance castello. The showpiece of the gallery is the restored Renaissance villa, which he turned into a chapel and lined the walls with relief wood carvings of the depiction of the life of Christ.
It's time to leave Split, and we're flying to Budapest, Hungary. Croatia has been amazing. 5 stars, all the way, 5 stars. Unfortunately, one of our bags was lost at the airport, and now we have to go to the local mall.
On a perdu mon bagage, mais on doit continuer. Il me faut juste un passeport et une carte de crédit. On y va.
It's a bit of a bummer the airlines lost Bougie's luggage. She has no clothes, but we have a credit card and a passport that we've decided to carry on. Hopefully the luggage will catch up with us somewhere down the road.
This is the central market inside Budapest, and they got all sorts of delicious, tasty goodies. We're gonna see what's going on here this morning. I can't wait. So this is all types of bacon from different places. A Transylvanian bacon down there on the end. Different types of bacon of different sorts, has different names. This right here is actually like fatback, like almost like lard. Amazing. It smells so good. And this is crackling here. Look at that.
While I was looking over all the food, I came across 2 American kids, and they were talking about how they weren't going to miss any American food because they had lots of things to choose from here in the market. Different sorts of pizza pockets, bacon wraps, and all sorts of great snack-type food. This just goes to show you, there are things to eat. It doesn't have to be weird local stuff. It could be something tasty.
When you get close to the meat stand, the smell is just wonderful, especially all the types of bacon. Oh my God. So on the top floor of the central market are all these little like food stands, sausage vendors, goulash, all different types of Hungarian food.
J'ai tout ce qu'il faut. Le saucisson.
Some kind of Hungarian sausage with a little bit of mustard. And it comes in a little sausage basket. So I got a little Hungarian sausage here, and my mustard. Man, it's good. It's a beef sausage. It's got a little paprika in it. It's a little bit spicy. The mustard gives it a nice kick. These are really good. What I really like about Budapest is that as soon as the sun goes down, the nightlife comes out and everybody's out on the streets, eating out on the town, and the city just has a great energy. They call it chimney cake, and it's basically like a deconstructed cinnamon roll. They come in different flavors, but this one's cinnamon. You know how when you get a cinnamon roll in the morning, on a weekend morning, you made some fresh cinnamon rolls, and then you take them apart and you kind of eat it like a long string? That's a chimney cake. It's pretty good. Kind of sweet.
You know, part of the fun of slow travel is kind of just exploring the city and taking a moment to visit some of the sites, just check out the architecture. We love to kind of get off the beaten path and see what there is to see using public transportation. It's a great way to feel like a local for the short time that you're in a city.
This is a sculpture here in Budapest. It's called the Fat Policeman. And I walked past this thing 3 times. And each time I walked past it, I could have sworn that it was a real guy, like a street performer, you know, dressed up, spray painted clothes, looking like a sculpture. This is very common throughout Europe. And I was afraid to stand next to it. I could have sworn it was real. It was a real guy. But it turns out it's a bronze casting. And everybody comes and gets a picture standing next to the Fat Policeman. But no one wants to stand next to me. This is my gin and tonic. This thing's about as big as my head. I love it. We're at a Mexican restaurant in Budapest. And look at this drink that they just gave me. I mean, I could put my whole head in there, get it all wet, juicy.
This is your little one. I'm just gonna do a little comparison here. Gin and tonic, white wine. Gin and tonic. Hey, don't wait to take my line.
Budapest has been awesome. 5 stars. 5 stars. Today we're on our way to Bratislava in Slovakia.
I'm excited. This is the exciting part of the trip. We're going to another country we haven't been to before. It's going to be awesome.
They got noodles and cheese in a vending machine. This way, in case you forgot your cheese, you could just stop and pick some up from the vending machine.
It's like all different types of cheese, and I don't think this is noodle. I thought it was noodle, but it's actually, I think it's string cheese. String cheese. And this is gonna be cheese curds up here. Some type of cheese curds.
This is Bratislava Castle. It overlooks the city of Bratislava. They say this spot has been inhabited by people since the Stone Age. The castle was constructed in 900 AD. You know, the interesting thing is, as we've traveled across Europe, we've seen a lot of castles, a lot of different cathedrals, and they all kind of have their own style, and they actually are changing insofar as the design, the layout, and the materials that were used. Of course, it's different time periods. It's really fascinating.
I think this might be one of my favorite castles so far. It's high above the city. The air is just wonderful up here, nice and breezy. And it's in amazing shape. It's been restored several times over the last couple hundred years. And but it's really kind of a great building to look at. Today we're traveling to Hrad Devon, which is Castle Devon. It's on the outskirts of Bratislava. So we took a bus down here from the city center, and now we're walking up to the castle, but I'm gonna tell you, that thing is up there a little ways, at a little bit of elevation. I guess we gotta walk all the way up there. We're walking. This one's gonna be painful. Man, the Slovenian sausage is just awesome. We came to Czech Republic for our honeymoon almost a decade ago, and we had what's called Prague sausage. It's a spicy red sausage, and this is almost the same. It's absolutely delicious, and just like we remember. I'm gonna buy a couple of those and put them in my pocket. I love it.
If you're interested in the food that we're eating in Bratislava, be sure to check out one of our other videos, The Best Food in Bratislava. You're going to love this. We sample some baked snails, some of the best barbecue I've had anywhere in Europe, some delicious Chinese food. Be sure to check it out. This is the Blue Church in the old town part of Bratislava. It's a Catholic church, but it was built in the early 1900s in what's known as the Hungarian Art Deco style. At day 44, we're wrapping up our tour of Bratislava. It's time to cross Slovakia to the western border. Our trip just gets better and better. This morning we're leaving Bratislava and we're on our way to Košice, which is the second largest town in Slovakia, in eastern Slovakia. Be sure to check out the next episode in our travels, Amsterdam to Istanbul in 60 days. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Go slow.
Doucement.
Go travel.
Voyager.